Hello, everybody, and welcome to the March 29th Trips and Traps. Andy Serling, joined by Eric Donovan.
We have two races to bring you this week, and until we get to to next week's show and we can do a couple turf races, it's just hard this first week on the main track because we don't have any two-turn races, and that's where a lot of the action happens, on the inner track. So we got a couple of races, actually, both New York-bred maiden claimers, but we think both horses, could make amends for their efforts next time out.
Right, they're two horses that got left, but they had sort of different kind of trips after getting left, and both these horses, I mean, in a way, you could say the cat's a little out of the bag on both these horses, but I think it's worth showing their races.
All right, we'll start off. Both races are from Thursday the 22nd. Actually, this is race number 4. State-bred maiden claimer, 25,000 3-year-olds and up, going 6 furlongs. The 5 Utopian Dreams breaks slow.
Yeah, Utopian Dream was making his second career start, and this was a horse that debuted, I believe, at Saratoga for Colin O'Brien, was coming back and dropping down. I thought it was an interesting horse off the layoff. Well, you see the horse get left. I don't understand why the rider was so aggressively sending him after he got left, Eric.
I don't know either. I think the only thing I could think of is maybe the instructions were to, be on the lead, and, a young rider like this who, just doesn't have a whole ton of experience. When you break slow, you try to, maybe please the connections and try to get him up there. They were putting blinkers on today, so maybe they wanted him closer. This move just never works out, though.
It's just he rides him into traffic. He gets in behind horses, and then he has to sort of drop back after that. If he had just sort of relaxed after the start, he would have allowed the horse to at least get into a comfortable position. Now, we're not saying he would have won, and perhaps the start compromised him, but imagine this race in your mind. He breaks through the field, he settles comfortably, he isn't ridden along virtually the entire race. It's a totally different situation. This horse that easily could have won the race. The problem is, now the cat's kind of out of the bag. He was a big price. As you see him sort of angling towards the outside for room, which is fine. I mean, that was good. He just doesn't have any real finish. He doesn't run badly. He sort of runs in place.
They would have been much better off just to sit back after the break, and I think he would have had a much better chance to, I don't know if he would have won, but he would have had a pretty good chance to maybe be second here, or right there with the runner-up Anaphylaxis, I think.
Yeah, I don't disagree. What did he lose by? About 6 lengths or so in here? And I have to think that you think of, it's not just making a length and a half too slow, it's the rush up, it's getting up close, dropping back, it's all those things go into one, and just didn't have a fair chance. Now we'll see what happens next time, but this is a horse that is going to run a much improved effort.
All right, second race we'll take a look at. Fair Trade, also from the 22nd, a maiden claimer for New York breds, 50,000 3-year-olds, 6 furlongs.
This was a first timer that Maggie actually liked in the paddock, and she was very right. He was a big price. He has trouble at the start. We'll show you the head-on afterwards, and I thought he ran fairly well after that, Eric.
Yeah, I did. I mean, he breaks a little slow on his own, and then gets kind of steadied by the 3-horse who comes over out of the start there. Just sits way back here, which is, kind of, the direct opposite to what happened with Utopian Dream. But, on the other hand, in this race, the pace holds together. The horses that are, in the top 3 slots here pretty much stay that way. They kind of change order a little bit, but no one out of that top 3 is able to crack the top 3.
The other thing is, Eric, if you watch him, Alan Garcia is riding him very passively. He kind of very facilely moves up into position, more I guess is it Phillies, Colts, on his own, which I like. You don't see that. It's a very good contrast to the other ride with the horse that got left. Garcia never panicked. He let him settle after the start. He puts him back here. The horse actually put himself a little bit into the race.
Yeah, I agree. That's something you like to see, and I like the way he finished up, actually. I mean, he gets closer. He doesn't get all that close here. He's still beaten 4 1/4 at the end, but, he gets a little bit closer here. I think this was just a good experience first time.
I agree. What's interesting is he starts to make a run here, and right here, I actually thought he had a legitimate chance to get very, very close to winning this race, if not closer, and he didn't really finish up that strongly. Now, you watch Alan Garcia. He's riding him. I think the horse gets a little bit green there. He starts to duck out. Alan has to go to the right-handed whip. He kind of was his own worst enemy a little bit late in the race, but he showed enough during the running of this race that he's clearly a horse that's better than his finish suggests.
And here's a look at the head-on. He'll break a step slow and then get interfered with a little bit by the 3-horse coming out of there about 5 or 6 steps after.
Sorry, Eric. I think you're right. It's not just the breaking slow. It's this horse coming over on him. You can see that makes it even worse, and you could see that it really put him a good 6, 7 lengths behind the front at the start. And we talk about this a lot with starts. Starts are so important because they establish your position, and it's not even necessarily while expending any energy.
Right, absolutely, and you just like to see a horse do that and be able to settle and finish up a little bit, much more so than what Utopian Dreams does. When you get affected at the start, the rider panics a little bit, you send him on up, you rush him up, and then you're behind a couple horses, you're down inside, your horse might not like being there, and then you're trying to hustle him along to keep up. He can't keep up, you drop back a little bit, you switch to the outside. I don't know. Utopian Dream to me had the after the start had the more eventful run. I thought.
I totally agree, and the horses respond to that. To be honest. honest. In the case of the second one we show with Fair Trade, I think that Garcia did a very good job getting him to relax after the start, which is a very important thing because you've got a first-time star that already came out of the gate and had a bad experience. So the fact that he got him to relax, I think, is very good for the horse and will help him down the road. We can use your help down the road, trips and traps at NYRAinc.com.
Thanks for watching.